Sir, good evening, folks. I would help if I put us on the screen. How are we all doing? Welcome to Howay The Lasses with myself, Paul, and of course Sam. Welcome. It's the second show, and we're going to see this through. It was very popular, the first one, so we hope everyone enjoys tonight. Lots to get through on tonight's show, of course, after the weekend and the coming weekend, of course, where hopefully the Lasses can bounce back, shall we say, back to winning ways. We really hope so. Anyway, right. If you do it, I've got a bit of echo in my ears, Sam. Have you or not?
No, it's you. Is it in your head?
Everything's in my head, Sam.
I
You
can't
don't
hear
want
an
to know what's
echo.
going on in my head. Anyway, if you do enjoy the show today, guys, please, as usual, hit that thumbs up button. Very important for the channel that we do keep those likes coming in. And of course, if you are new, why not subscribe? It is free to do so. Hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell, which will let you know when we upload any videos or we schedule in our live shows. You can become a member of the Toon Review as per usual if you hit that join button just underneath myself and Sam. And you can donate to the channel as usual as well by hitting that $sign just underneath the live comments, and that will guarantee your comment to be read out on the show. So, unfortunately, Sam, we have to talk about Sunday, last Saturday, of course, which everybody was looking forward to. Everybody couldn't wait for it. There was a tremendous atmosphere down there with the traveling tsunami, of course. Everything just seemed perfect to win the trophy, but it just didn't. It didn't quite happen.
Right. And it was great to see the fan zone down there put on by Newcastle Fans TV. So
Yep.
kudos to the lads and hats off for that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know that there was struggles as well, finding it to watch as well for those who couldn't travel down. I certainly had issues with it as well. And then what seemed like the golden season
Mm-hmm.
shock result in such an amazing run of form where we were expected to win, and they were just able to break us down too easily. It was just really disappointed, and you could see in the faces as well. They were so gutted for the fans, and I've seen a lot of the after chat as well that they've been posting, and the it's so heartfelt. Like it's
Yeah.
really hit them hard. But you know what, Paul, I'm sort of it's bittersweet, but it's good that we've had a taste of defeat this season before
Yeah.
going into next season. We're going into a much higher level next time, so
Mm.
it's going to be tough. It's not going to be the same standard as it was this season.
No, and I think the way things have gone for the Lasses this season, especially the week before, coming back from 2-0 down at half time, of course, to
Right.
beat Wolves 3-2, confidence was sky high.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was absolutely buzzing, and I genuinely thought before I did the commentary on the game. I was thinking, wow, we're going to play the goal scoring music loads of times here. We're going to perform really well, but it doesn't happen like that in the final. We know that, but I think it's the way that the Lasses have performed this season, and just the confidence that's around the team at the minute. And I think that's what everybody was sort of pushed to, if you like, to sort of think, right, they are going to bring the trophy home. The weather was horrendous in the first half. It was absolutely
Oh, was it
unbelievable. I
not?
mean, you were watching it thinking, well, hang on a minute, it's bathed in sunshine, yet it's a bloody monsoon.
Yeah.
So the conditions were very difficult, but of course that was for both sides as well. There's the lineup. Just before kickoff. Now, you see, every single one of them, apart from Charlotte Potts, who's always got that game face on,
Yeah.
big smiles and ready to go. And they must have been so confident to get going and get into the match. And to be honest, it started okay. I mean, we did look every time we got the ball, we were looking like we were wanting to break forward and really give it a go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for me, maybe the first half, I thought it was decent.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we definitely had some press in the game, but we just needed to be a bit cleaner and a bit more clinical with our passing. I think we had a decent amount of shots, but they just flooded the box every time we headed towards it. And I think it was sort of very quickly out the gates. We saw some like really nice work from McQuaid, Barker. Oh, was just like it was just incredible, but just lacked the finish in the end. And I think that first own goal, which I really believe was a forced mistake from the Lasses. I thought that was a great bit of play that forced that own goal. But
Yeah.
after that, momentum just dropped. Focus blindsided us for just that moment, and then bang, they had the equaliser in, and we just lost composure from there.
Yeah, I mean our goal, it was bizarre for me. I mean, some great play by is it Galtado? I keep getting Galdado or Galtado, the left back. Cataldo, that's her. I mean, I got it right in the commentary. Let's be honest.
You did.
Brilliant run.
Yeah.
Combining with Katie Parker down the left there, and then the cross. I mean, it was slightly deflected. It was, but the defender, I think, looking back at that goal, she was in two minds whether to head it clear or volley it clear, and she got neither of them right. And I think she went to head it and volley it at the same time, and it just ended up, deflecting off her into the back of the net. But at that stage, I think we deserved that lead. I think we were the better side. Yes, hashtag it had a couple of little bits of attacking time during that spell, but nothing really to hurt us. And I think then on, we certainly, when we got the ball, and they were getting it out to Casey Elson on the right hand side, trying to use her pace a lot. She missed a wonderful opportunity.
She did.
To put us 2-1 up, because the thing is, anybody will tell you, it doesn't matter what game you're watching. You score the first goal, you keep it tight for the next 5-10 minutes, and you do your best to keep that concentration. As much as I hate to say it, we did switch off. We left a striker standing on the penalty spot, and it was a simple volley into the corner.
Yeah, and it felt almost immediate on the counter after that first own goal that they scored. We seemed frantic. We seemed panicking almost, and I think it was just such a shame, because that danger, when the stakes were so high, was just unnecessary. We just needed to calm the nerve a little bit and hold on to it, and then go on the counter from there. And we just didn't seem to be able to do that. I love that, Barker, like, she had an attack on goal in under 50 seconds, and I love that tenacity that we always see, which was amazing.
Honestly, she's brilliant to watch.
Class. She's absolutely
class.
And the tackling, she's got no fear. She's absolutely got no fear. Like, she will just go for it. She's got quality. She's got the pace as well. Galloway, the constant powerhouse, and 2 near misses in the first half as well. Potts as ever, super technical. And I really did think we had, a nice bit of press early in the game. Lacked a bit precision, but the early intent was there. And Kelly, as ever, was a masterclass for me, but she was just constantly marked.
Yeah, they obviously, they did the homework, didn't they? To be fair to hashtag, the dominant players that we have, i.e. Emma Kelly, even, Potsy herself, when she went forward in that first half, she was incredible. The technical ability of Charlotte Potts to actually, for a centre back, to dribble in the way that she can and take players on is simply incredible. But hashtag did the work. They doubled up on Emma Kelly. They doubled up and sometimes trebled up on the players, and it was very, very difficult. I thought, Galloway gave it a good effort up front. She was tenacious. She was fighting for the ball. Georgia Gibson, again, working hard in that 10 role, trying to create space, trying to create something. But it got to the stage where I think when they got to half time at 1-1, I'm sure, she would have got them in, and Becky would have got them in and started saying, right, this is it. Come on, we've played really well here. We've been on top. I don't think they hit top gear at all on Saturday to knowing how the Lasses play. But Becky would have got them in, probably said to them, come on, this is ours. We must believe here. But I think when they went 2-1 down, I think panic set in. I think the passing went. They were all over the pitch. They weren't really playing in the normal positions. And I think it's because it was a cup final, and the desire to win the cup kind of got in the way, if that makes sense, of sticking to the tactics and things like that. And it just went a bit pear-shaped.
100%. It was almost the sense of occasion got too big for the performance that we're used to seeing from them, and it's almost like, stopping 3 inches from from
Yeah.
where you wanted to be. Like we nearly had the silverware. It would have been just I mean, what a story, what an accolade, what a rise to greatness, and
Mm.
just at that moment getting it stolen away for us. And it was such a blow. And I mean that the fans were incredible. Like, I think it was 3,000
Yeah.
fans actually
Yeah.
went down to support. Then so many people were watching this channel, or watching iPlayer or the
Mm.
FA player as well. So it was just so disappointing. But again, a team not used to defeat, we are going to have to learn some lessons very, very quickly in
Yeah.
terms of
Yeah.
calming temperaments in going behind in games. And we proved it the game before, but then this was just too much of an occasion for the
Mm.
Lasses, I'm afraid. But I think positionally we were fine, but then it started to go out of the window. I don't think there was anything wrong with the team selection either. I just think we
No.
lost our heads, and I think their only tactic was to cover us and don't let us do a blooming thing.
Yeah. I think, you know, from a lot of people looking on, would have thought maybe why isn't Alicia Body in the team? But she's been out injured for a long time. She came back,
Absolutely.
and Becky's got to be careful because she is an outstanding talent, and
Hmm.
we can't risk players like that, especially with where the Lasses want to be and want to move forward with this team. So they've got to be careful not to really don't take any lessons from the men's team. Just be very, very careful because. Alicia Body and Emma Kelly in the middle are untouchable. When you see them play
Yeah.
together. Um, but she had to take a risk with it, bringing her on. But for me, even when hashtag scored the second goal, I thought, you know what, I'm still confident we're going to come back and win this. There was
Yeah.
always that confidence, but then as the game dragged on, and more panic set in, you got the feeling that it just wasn't to be. We'll get some comments. Josh, of course, who had a long trip over from, of course, Philadelphia. He says, "Cheers, all back home in Philly. Shame about the results, but was a once in a lifetime for me. Got my pick with Georgia." There you go. I'm sure your wife is truly, truly happy with that, Josh, knowing that you were flying over here just for that one thing to get that
Yeah.
photo with Georgia. But well
I'm
done,
sure
matey.
I saw our Josh with Aaron Embleton as well.
Yes,
Keep us right, Josh.
we
I think I
did.
did.
Yes, I saw that photo as well. I think Aaron actually posted that on her Instagram. I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
It was great. Good evening, Lawrence. Just said also met Aaron. What a kind lady. Yep, of course, our guest last week. She was absolutely fantastic. Evening, Jackie. Claire. Good evening. Tom says it wasn't on the iPlayer until the very last minute. I know it was the same with the FA player. They just sort of take it on when as soon as
Mm.
kickoff arrives. And I do beg your pardon, my phone is ringing. I shall.
Hello.
Yeah. It's actually about one of the pugs, actually, Sam. The
Oh.
microchip details are wrong. We've got the wrong details on paper to what's actually microchipped inside Reggie. So it's.
Yeah,
Another
you
ring
need to
Susan,
sort
actually.
that out. But after the show.
Yes, exactly. Davey says hashtag played dirty and ref was crap. 2 penalties missed and not allowed. Well, interesting that because I did think
Bailey Gale.
right at the end with Bailey Gale, that was a penalty. I mean, no doubt about that. But the referee was poor for me, Sam, all game. Didn't really. I mean, I don't know whether she was blinded by the rain and stuff in the first half, but some of the challenges were disgusting, quite honestly. But hashtag came with the game plan. They came to rough the Lasses up, and we expect a bit of support from the referee, but same thing happens in the men's game. We're not getting that support from the referee, and she was pretty dreadful.
It didn't go. It just didn't seem to go our way. We just didn't seem to have anything going for us in that respect. I definitely think that when Bailey Gale was brought down, that was a pen. That was a pen. That was the glint of hope, and that could have taken us out of it, and we weren't given it. And you could hear the fans. You could hear the fans that were there just screaming out for it, and it didn't happen, unfortunately. So that was a big blow. They brought a lot of physicality and threat to the game in the way that they played it, I thought. And you could see that.
It's funny you should say that. because Billy's in the chat and he says that the hashtag team out physicaled us. We played the better football, but once we went behind, we stopped playing as a team. Players were trying to do it on their own for me. I have to say, I agree with that. And there was a lot of players, but not selfishly trying to do it on their own. They just thought, right, I'm good. It was their own belief in their skills. There was one effort from Katie Barker when she cut in from the left and just flashed it wide of the post. She scored so many goals like that throughout her career and this season included. And it just wasn't to be. They did. Their keeper made a few good saves as well. Let's be honest. But
I really rated her.
Yeah.
I thought she really kept them in the game. Was it Angel? I believe it was. I thought she was very, very good. I did see some interesting things going on in the chat and online as well about how people were feeling because questions were being asked of Donnelly at the end, maybe looking a bit nervous. Are we putting the best defense out there? Because I do think it's an interesting one because we've arguably had the strongest defense within the league, and I think that protects a goalkeeper a lot of the time. This game we saw Donnelly very exposed. We saw that mistake when she came off the line at one point. We were lucky, really lucky not to concede at that time. I'd be interested to know what people thought of Donnelly's performance. But
well, look, I mean, I thought about this before the show, Sam, and if we're going to do shows like this, okay, when we're reviewing the women, we have to be as critical as we are with the men when they don't play particularly well. And because look, the lasses will want that as well. If they want the big exposure, they're going to have to get used to being, if they don't play well, they get criticized. If they play well, then they get all the love and emotion from just like the men do. And I think Grace will be very disappointed, I think, with their second goal. She didn't really cover herself in glory there. She was a bit slow to get there and then didn't spread herself to make herself big, or try and dive at the feet of the player. And of course, the rest is history. Now, when I watched the Man United FA Cup game, I thought she looked very nervous in that one as well. So, I mean, Tristan says here, Paul, you have to remember that they got slapped by Man United and that carried over and they lost their only game in the league. They only need 6 points to win the league out of 4 games we're in. Yes, I don't think they were slapped against Man United. I think they gave a good fight. Man United are a WSL team with lots of international women playing for them. So let's be fair. To only concede 5 in that game, I thought they did really, really well. But I think Grace Donnelly looked very, very nervous. And look, whether it's not our place, it's Becky's place to say whether, the goalkeeper will need changing moving into next season or for the remainder of the season, whatever. Now, they did sign a Northern Ireland international, Sam, who was I believe, yet to play.
Yeah, I haven't seen hide and hair. And interestingly enough, when you go onto their social media feed as well, I couldn't even find like names to some of them. There was Cataldo, there was obviously Bailey Gale in there, there was Lumsden, and we didn't actually name the keeper, which I found an interesting move from the social media team. Questionable. Listen, as we progress and get where we want to be and Becky gets us where we all want to be, we need to become less sensitive to dropping players. But I think the difficulty is, and why this is going to hurt a little bit more in the women's game, is because we know that we've been so fortunate due to ownership that we've been able to go full time this season when so many teams don't get those types of opportunities, and arguably that's given us the edge in terms of our fitness levels and come out the gates, especially in second halves of game, to turn them around and win. Now, when we go into next season, we're going into a league where a lot more teams are full-time. Now, we can't ignore the fact that some of the lasses this season have taken career breaks, left their jobs to do this full-time because football is what they love to do, and credit to them. And it's going to be such a difficult conversation for Becky to actually have to sit down and say to those people who've left careers behind, to give this one shot, you just weren't good enough. As we progress through, we can't take you with us. That's going to be a killer.
It's what we said to Aaron last week as well, though, Sam, isn't it? That we said to Aaron, what would it have been like for Becky last season when they went full time? Now what it's going to be like, because some of these players, like you say, have left jobs and gone full-time professional, you know, there's no doubt in my mind that they are going to have to improve the squad next season. Now, I don't think they're dictated by FFP in the women's game, are they?
No.
I'm not sure they are. So
not currently, but
no.
who the hell knows?
Well, yeah, when Newcastle start making the WSL, let's just see what happens then.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, there is a few positions that will need upgrading next season, but there's a few of them there that will be able to step up. You know, the likes of Charlotte Potts, the likes of Emma Kelly, Katie Barker, for me, is just natural. She can play at a higher level. But of course, you know, we'll cover that, you know, during the towards the end of the season and the summer. You know, we'll look at where the team needs improving and who we think they'll go for. But the thing is, I think people need to realize that you know, Newcastle are going to be heavily backed. The women's team is going to be heavily backed in the summer. There's no doubt in my mind about that, with Amanda behind it. So there is going to be a lot of change. So Becky is going to have to make some really tough decisions. Now, a lot of people that were watching the game on Matchday Live with us were saying that Becky waited too long before making any sort of change on Saturday. What do you make of that?
I would be. It's hard because I hate going against Becky, but I agree. I think the subs were late. Cataldo was in great form, and I was really surprised not to see Bailey Gale start, to be fair, because I thought we are going to want to come out the gates and get on the scoreboard early. That is we're going to want goals early on, and Bailey Gale's just fantastic at that. It's not that I thought Cataldo was a bad choice. Actually, I was really, really impressed. But yeah, too late in the game to make any of the impact. I think, as you said before, the weather would have made a difference. You could see that it was it's obviously unsteady underground and things like that as well. So it was just such a hard one. But again, it just pains me to think when Bailey Gale had those opportunities, we should have had. I think it was at least one pen off the back of that, and not to get it at those critical moments was such a shame.
Yeah. Listen, Galloway for me did a good job in that first half in the weather. She was trying to be very physical with the two centre backs of #United. You know, she did create a good opportunity. I think it was for McQuaid, wasn't it, when she just shot just wide?
Yeah, she had two near misses in the first
the
half,
top
Galloway.
corner. Yeah, it was. She rolled it back to her really well. And I think Jazz McQuaid is somebody that can get even better as well. By the way, she is a tenacious midfielder and can cause all sorts of trouble for any defenders. I felt she ran out of steam a little bit on Saturday, but that was understandable because, like you say, they've been very heavy underfoot, and the running that she does.
Yeah,
it's only natural.
She gave it all. She gave it all.
Yeah. Josh says one minor thing I did notice was in the second half when the sun came back out, numerous long balls really messed with the back line and Grace, and they were having to use the hands as shields to block the sun. Peter says #got them to fall into their hoof it and run game, which didn't suit the quality of the team. I actually agree with that, Sam, because when certainly towards the last 20 minutes of the game, that's when we were starting just to long balls, and we couldn't get the ball under control, and it was playing into #'s hands a little bit because they were just clearing the ball and saying, right, come on to us, and we kind of just we couldn't, and it was just one of those where 9 out of 10 times I think we come back in that game and we beat them. But it's just that one time, and you could say it's a curse of Newcastle United, the men's and the women's team. They just when is that trophy coming, kind of thing. But they are on course to win the league. Let's not forget that. But they were devastated at the end, and I think this photo, Sam, just sums it up. I mean, it's obviously Casey, Jazz, and Alicia Body. I mean, they are distraught, and but like you said at the start, though, Sam, when they're feeling like that. It's kind of these lessons that are learned, these lessons that will make them stronger, so they will come back. I've got no doubt that those three will be here next season, and they'll remember this. It'll hurt, but now I think they'll have moved on, prepping for Sunday's game. But the face, the pain, it's all there to see.
Yeah.
But if we try and take the positive out of it, it's like they've got loads of these to come. Hopefully, this is just the start.
I think for me, and Becky Langley is so smart. She will literally be using this as fuel for
Mm.
the fire. Like, this is what we need to work on. This is why. Remember that feeling? I want you to
Yeah.
go back to that feeling, and I want you to show it in the next game why we are so much better than this. Like, this will be leveraged. This will be leveraged for so many games to come. And as I said at the start, I think for me, this is a really valuable early lesson, because next season, when we progress, it is not going to be the cakewalk that it has been this season. We've had a phenomenal standard, great fitness levels. We're going to be playing a lot more opposition who are in the same circumstances as ourselves. We are going to need to either evolve as players, and they are all going to need to get better,
Yeah.
or we are going to need to drop players and we are going to need to get new people in. So whichever it's going to be, there's going to be an element of rejuvenation. There's going to be a real evolution that's going to happen with the team. I'm personally very excited to hear it. I think it's just the nature of the game. We are going to have to leave some people behind, unfortunately, and who we need to thank and be really grateful for their service. But
Yeah.
we have to evolve and move on.
Tristan, I do need to pick you up on this one, because you've said you've got to remember hashtag is 2 divisions below Newcastle. They're not. They're in the equivalent league in the south. Yeah. Newcastle are in the north, and hashtag are in their equivalent division in the south. So there's no difference between them. Hashtag have done ever so well to get where they are, because they've only been going since 2020. But let's not dull down this. That Tristan, you're wrong with that, and badly wrong. There's not 2 divisions between them at all. Mike says the Lasses did themselves proud, but yes, panic set in after they went 2-1 down, but they will keep on fighting and they will get there in the future. Claire says, do the ladies automatically get promoted? Well, we'll be coming on to that in just a moment, Claire, so stay tuned for that. Sean, good evening to you. Hope you're well. Stotty, good evening. Well, we've got Father Fappa in the chat again. Hi, both. Great show. Very proud of you, Lady Sam. Love your dad. Have you told the story of the Stadium of Shite yet? No, she hasn't, but we'll find that out, definitely, without a doubt.
We'll do it on Friday. Face the lads.
Yes, definitely. Ian, if you're in the chat on Friday, remind us on about that, please. Claire says, I think it's so huge for this club to win a trophy. The occasion gets the better of our players. Well, that's technically just what we've said there, Claire, to be honest. When we've looked at that photo of the 3 Lasses there, devastated. But the more times they play in occasions like this, Sam, the more they will get ready for them, the more they'll be ready, and the more they'll understand the situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, I think what's really important to remember is you are the expectation of your peer group. So when we go into that higher league, I think we're going to see a lot of the players raise their own standards. They're not going to want to leave this dream boat that we're currently all on. They're not going to want to leave this. So I think we're going to see them doing better, getting into more cup matches and ties. I think we're going to be on for a great run. It's just been a really difficult early lesson for them to learn.
A few comments coming in there about Grace, and look, let's get one thing straight before we say anything else. Grace Donnelly has been absolutely magnificent for the women's team and done so much for them. Let's be fair to Grace here. She's a great character and a great leader, and that's somebody that you've needed as you come through the ranks. Players will only have to be able to get to a certain ability, and I think Grace has probably found her level. But that's nothing against Grace. And I think, Becky will probably be looking at that for next season as well. If we want to be an elite women's team, then we need elite players. There's no doubt about that. But, again, it's hard to sort of dig at Grace Donnelly, because she's been superb for the team over the years, Sam, that she's been here.
Yeah, and that's the difficult thing. I think when there's a loss of this kind of magnitude, you're kind of looking for somebody to point the finger at. And sure, there was mistakes, and I think that's the problem. When there was some blatant errors that we did see with Donnelly in the match, and it was such high stakes. And
Mm.
I do think maybe just the occasion was just too big, and it could be maybe that we keep out in terms of rotation. I think we're really fortunate, because I think when we do get some new blood in, we're going to have a really good depth of squad where we can rotate, we can rest players, we can
Yeah,
actually have a really fantastic team that can go the distance.
absolutely.
But people were all going to have to get used to the idea that we can't be too loyal. We show gratitude and appreciation at the time, but people are going to have to move on if they've kind of met the level. I think the
Mm.
finger's been pointed at Donnelly in this occasion. There was mistakes. That's why the finger's being pointed.
But at the end of the day, Sam, they are now professional and they have to accept criticism when it comes their way if they don't perform. It's part of the professional game now. No
Absolutely, you
matter how
paid
much we
full
love them
time for
all,
it. Yeah.
exactly. No matter how much we love them all, at the end of the day, she's. I mean, Grace she is just a wonderful, wonderful person. But and yes, they all bleed black and white. But you know what it is? You have to be honest, and you have to, give an honest assessment. And Grace will know that she should have done better with that second goal. She'll know that. It doesn't take a magician to think that. Clive says women's football is brilliant. Just look at the Lionesses. They score lots of goals for fun, not like England's men team score a goal and sit on it. They don't have an answer when the opposition equalise. Absolutely. Norvik says, in my honest opinion, going to need a taller goalkeeper. And once again, far too late with the subs. Mike says, yes, Becky will definitely have a very hard decision on certain players for next season. Paul McCready says, I was surprised Paige Bailey-Gill didn't start, but could see the rationale for it. Their defenders tire on a big pitch, bring Paige on, sort of made sense. I want to ask you though, Sam, where Georgia Gibson, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I would put her up front. I don't know what you think, but the goals that she scored in the past have been very much strikers' goals, and I think, I know she does well sitting between the midfield and the attack, but I'd just love to see Georgia giving a go up front. She's got the power in the air. She's good on the floor. I just think she is a kind of, I don't know, like a hidden striker.
She's got attack and press, doesn't she?
Yeah.
I think she's tenacious as well, which I really enjoy to see. And I think we've probably got some scope to play positionally with Georgia Gibson as well. So I would like to see that as well. She sometimes just does those little like on the floor passes and stuff, and the precision's just excellent. But you can see she's just got so much desire moving forward that we'd really like to see probably a lot more from.
Sarah Barber, who was a former Newcastle player, said she found the goalkeeper was very sloppy, and she agrees. Georgia Gibson is wasted in midfield. Interesting. Nathan says, hi both from me and Amber. Amber is asking how you both are feeling. Scoodly do. Obviously disappointed from Saturday's game, but hey, they'll bounce back.
Hey, Amber.
She'll be screaming at the TV now.
Bless her.
Tom says, not taking anything away that she's done to this point, quite right. Not blaming, but I do think going forward there needs to be an upgrade. Kath, good evening to you. Hope you're well. Grace is a wonderful lass. I've met her and she bleeds black and white. I met her when she and three others had volunteered to shake buckets for the food bank a couple of years ago. Leave her alone. Kath.
Do you know what, Paul? Let's be super clear here that we've already mentioned it once. Like these lasses are professional now. You're gonna have to take the rough with the smooth, the positive with the critique. And like for me, Donnelly, and this is no insult to personal character, no insult at all. We all know how for the team they are, how for Becky they are, and how much they love to be a mag, but questions do need to be asked when we're not strong enough. And I do think our defense has protected Donnelly so far, and it's just come out when that defense has maybe just dilled it down a couple of notches. We've just seen the spotlight on Donnelly amplified during a game where she's been off, and that's why the finger's pointed. Nothing personal, it's football.
There you go. Sarah says, I said that. She's always said that from going to the games, she's not a midfielder. I love watching Georgia Gibbs. I think she's brilliant.
She's class.
Mr. Stato's in the chat. Evening, Paulinho, Sam, and all. Disappointing result. We lost a big Sam football, and it's hard to stomach. You could see the quality. Their keeper played the game of her life. Absolutely. Nathan says Amber is screaming now. She said has a little sister Penny, and she's glad you are both feeling good, and she really wants to see you both, and she loves Sam so much.
Yeah.
There you go. Already, you have stalkers. Sarah says Amber Stubbs and Potsy are the rock in defence. Absolutely. But listen, yes. Cataldo for me is a brilliant signing. I think she is fabulous at left back. The way she bombs down that left is incredible. And of course, you know, it was responsible for sort of putting the defender under pressure for our first goal. But I think, you know what, I think the whole back line, the back four are pretty solid in my opinion. They're just, as I said, they all wanted to come forward on Saturday because they all wanted to try and make a difference. You know, Olivia Watt came on in the second half, and you know, by then I just think things were getting very sloppy. Things were getting a little bit, well, not just a little bit, very panicky. But you know what? Lessons will be learned, and that's the good thing about these lasses. They will take it on the chin, and they will learn, and they will learn from these mistakes, Sam, and come back much stronger.
I think we lack decisiveness, and and we just got too shaky. I saw it come in after that equalizer that was won, and it was an exciting game to watch. I mean, it was end to end the whole time. I probably thought at first, where the hell is Bailey Gale? Like, why isn't Bailey? I thought we were going to come out there. We were going to come out and just go for goal straight away, and it just did. I feel like we still did that, but I think Paige Bailey gives us more in terms of attack. But I was not disappointed by Cataldo at all. I thought she was absolutely a mess. I thought for defence it just wasn't our day, and we made just a few little mistakes. And I mean, McQuaid was. God, she was.
I honestly think that left-hand side, though, Sam, is really exciting for next season with Cataldo and Barker. I mean, those two combined so well, and you could see the quality was there. Sometimes it didn't quite come off on Saturday, but then, you know, a lot of the things that they tried didn't come off. It was just that one-off game that things didn't go quite right. Kath says, still got to see out the rest of the matches. We're ahead by tons, but we all saw the men in that position. I just mean, leave it to Becky. A way to go yet. Get them to the championship first. Indeed. Well, we'll move on to the weekend because the lasses are at home at Kingston Park. They take on Liverpool Feds in the next match. It's a 2 o'clock kickoff. I'm going to go to that game. I'm going to be there. I want to go. Whether my daughters are going to come or Susan, I don't know, but I'm going because I think they need all the support they can get now just to push them over the line. Hopefully get some photos and maybe a couple of interviews with the players. You never know if they want to come on, you know.
Well, just want to be mindful, because I was actually speaking to Aaron about this, because I went to see if I could get tickets online, and both the upcoming games looked sold out. But if you go via Instagram, they are posting links on there. I did try them and I still couldn't get tickets for it, but apparently there's tickets, there's plenty of tickets available if you actually go to the gate on the day, so please don't let that put you off. Get yourself down.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, when everybody sees that the tickets are sold out, they think, oh well, the game, it's never like that. They will always let you in that ground, paying on the day. So I think even if I haven't got tickets, I'm going and I'll pay at the door. That's not a problem. And I think you know, a lot of fans need to realize that I think it's just because they have a certain amount of tickets, isn't it, Sam? And then once they're sold out, it's then just pay on the day. Because as you can see, if you watch the women's game, there's plenty of room behind the goals. So there is plenty of room for everybody. But I think it's great just to push them over the line. This is how the league table's looking at the minute. And of course, as Kath's just said there, the streets ahead, you know, you would look at that table, Sam, and think, yeah, it's done and dusted. But they've got to keep the professionalism now for the last 4 games. They've got 2, you know, Nottingham Forest 2 games in hand there. You know, although Newcastle are 12 points ahead, and then you see Burnley there with 3 games in hand. So, but they're quite a bit off. I mean, look, it's in our hands, isn't it? You know, it should be cut and dry.
Absolutely.
And hopefully that's the case, and it's not going to be, or after the cup final and then they just drop their heads. I don't think they're anything like that group of players, and I think they'll get the job done.
Absolutely, and they are hurting. They are really hurting right now.
Yeah,
I follow all of the lasses, and the pain, but the back out training, and they're all putting such positive messages on, and it's funny actually, because you can actually see the messages that are going out in the dressing room are echoing, because they're all quite similar in terms of what's coming out there. So Becky's working hard to make sure, you know what, you come back fighting, lasses. So I don't think we're going to roll over and get our bellies tickled against Liverpool Feds. I think we're absolutely going to go out there and hammer them. This is going to be a point to prove, really exciting game. And I do want to give a little bit of a tip of the cap, because I believe it was last week on the Sunday, the reserve team actually played and beat them and got the championship as well, for the reserve lasses as well. So
well, we'll be coming on to them. We're going to mention them at the end there. So,
oh, are we? Oh,
yes.
Lovely.
Let's not jump ahead, Sam. Let's not
Apologies.
jump ahead. Sarah's going in the hospitality for me as a one-off. Kath's a season ticket holder for the lasses. Now, listen, now that we are going to be covering the lasses once a week, that is something I'm going to be looking at for next season, because they do tend to play on different days to the men. And even if they're at home the same day, normally what you can do is, as Lee does from Newcastle Fans TV, Adam does, they go to that game and then they just head straight down to St James's Park. So I'm going to be looking to do that next season, Sam. And of course, with us covering the ladies team now on this channel, 100% doing it, we are going to have to push ourselves to attend the games and get there. And I don't mean push ourselves in a bad way, but make sure that, we get the tickets sorted and we get there and we get the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, no pushing required. No pushing required.
Absolutely. No.
I've got my scarf. I've got my bucket hat. Let's get this done. I'm looking forward to it.
Tristan says, I remember the Super League is, Paul, remember the Super League is a free league to watch if you have Sky, as what with Sky One play a lot of the women's Super League games and the BBC. Yeah, it's well covered. And I think that's the general push for these lasses, where they want to be. Coverage on the TV, it does magical things for the club, but the lasses as well. And then you start thinking, right, now we're in the Super League. International options come around, to play for the national side and things like that. So, listen, these lasses will have the same dreams as what the lads do, playing for the country, playing on the biggest stage of all, and it's how you hold your nerve on that biggest stage. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite there on Saturday, but it's the direction that this team is going in that really excites me. Sarah says, this is my first time on your show. Well, thank you, Sarah. Get yourself subscribed. We are, it's going to be an every week, every Wednesday night this for us. So, it's something that we really want to do. We want to push the lasses. Sam's a big fan of the lasses team as well. I've watched most of the games this season. So, I really wanted to do this for a while. And now Sam came on board a few weeks ago as a co-host. She's the perfect person to do this show with, and hopefully everybody's enjoying it, because I certainly am. It's nice to talk about a positive team going somewhere at the minute than what the men are at the minute. But Sarah says she's going for 5-0 on Sunday.
Yes.
I think that's what we all want.
I really wouldn't be surprised. I think we've got it in us to do it, because we, as I said, we are TTR and tour. Yes, we are going to have something in the tank to come out and fight in, just to prove a point, to prove where we deserve our place. Yes, we've fallen off, but we're back on it now and we can do it.
Yeah, that's what we plan to do, Julie. Reporting from the games, doing sort of match day vlogs from the games and things like that. Tristan says you need to start watching the Super League, mate, because it will give you a view of what we have to do to get there. I watch a lot of the Women's Super League. I watched the Manchester Derby on Sunday, and I mean, listen, Man City are backed by the same kind of money that we're going to be. So, in years to come, hopefully we'll be up there with the cities. Man United not having a great season, actually. I think they're about 5th in the WSL, but they do have some good players there. Sarah says the last home game is Huddersfield at Kingston Park. Amber really wants to watch her first women's game on the weekend. Will I be able to watch it online, as we're from South Wales? I don't know. They don't tend to release whether it's on YouTube or not. But with it being at Kingston Park, I think
They do. So if you
Yeah.
head over to NUFC TV on YouTube, hit
Mm.
subscribe. It literally does not start until bang
Until kickoff,
on,
yeah.
yeah, bang on kickoff. So try and get there probably early. It will say just like waiting for it to start, so it'll say that it's live for you. There's no sort of halftime commentary, but again, you've got Aaron who will commentate her arse off
Yep.
and give you really non-biased views as well. She's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, in NUFC TV, head there.
Yeah, normally when they're at home at Kingston Park, they will be on
Yeah.
online to watch. Now, a couple of photos that managed to nab from the training this week. I mean, they are back, you know, and I'm sure the cup final now is a thing of the past for them. You know, they've got it in their heads now that, I mean, there's Georgia hunting down Alicia there. So there will be fully focused on this game. And, you know, they've got the very level-headed, these bunch of lasses. I think we said last week when Aaron was on, Sam, there's no big-headedness. There's no real egos in that dressing room. They're all the same. They get on fantastically well. There's a good vibe in that dressing room. And I think that's what's going to help them get over this cup final and get back to basics on Sunday.
Yeah, they love to win. They love to win. That's what Becky says constantly. Like, she's got like an addiction to winning in some of the interviews that she's done, and she likes to carry that mentality onto the pitch. And I just think it's just it's just not been their day. We know that the quality's there. It's just not been their day. It's missed opportunities. We know they're kicking themselves over it. They are going to come out absolutely fighting. I agree with Sarah, who was in before, who were like, we're going to hammer them 5-0. I would probably look to do the same.
I think they will. I think they'll win by a large score on Sunday, just to really get that confidence back up again and say, right, we are where we are because we belong there and we deserve to be at the top of the table.
Yes.
Geordie boy, thank you for your super chat. Top of the league, so hold your heads high and believe in yourselves. Howay The Lasses. Indeed.
Yes.
Foxy says it would be nice if we at some point start looking at players from overseas for cheap prices once we get promoted. Would love to see prospects like Gabriela Rodriguez, Alice Sato at the club. I think a lot of people want us to get at the WSL, Sam, so we can bring Ella Toon to the Toon. I've seen that so many times.
It does have a nice ring to it.
It does, yeah. She's a fabulous player as well, by the way. And you know, when you look at her and the likes of Mary Earps and that on social media, on the TikToks and stuff, they just look so fun to be around. They're loving life. They're having a great time. And that's where we want our lasses to be, isn't it?
Well, let's put it this way. England women at the moment, and let's face it, this has exploded since that Euro winning, run that we went on. It was absolutely phenomenal to see. And right now, the quality that England have, I mean, we for the lineup that's coming up, we are literally leaving out players like Beth England and Nikita Paris. That's how much quality that we've currently got. So when we start rising through the ranks and getting to those levels, who knows who we're going to be able to get. It's going to be so exciting to see who's going to be able to be attracted to our project and what we want to do and what we want to achieve, because we're not just another club. No, the support blows people away. When we went down for the cup against I think it was Man United, and you could see Man U came over and actually like give a round of applause to our travelling fans.
To our fans, to
our fans.
Yeah.
Like I think this is just gonna blow everything wide open, so it's going to be so exciting to see. So yes, bring me internationals, show me the money.
Well, Peter McCardle makes a good point here, Sam, that Mary Earps hasn't signed a new contract yet in Manchester United. She's a free agent in the summer. Now,
get her in, get her down now.
Absolutely. Do you think Amanda would throw the big bucks at it just to drop down to the Championship for a season and say, look, we'll build a team around you, Mary. Nothing will get past you in the Championship. Let's just bring you in, pay you what you want, and let's help get this Lasses team into the WSL.
What's it going to take? Do you know what? It takes a village. We don't rely on one person.
Well, that's very true. But what a signing would, I tell you what a statement that would be. That would get people's backs up. They're only a Championship side and they're signing Mary Earps.
Sorry, Man U. Bye.
Yeah, kiss my ass, Man United. That would be brilliant.
You have Southgate and go and cry in the corner.
Exactly. Sarah says they played really well when they were playing Man U. Yeah, I thought Tristan's comment earlier on was a little bit harsh, saying they got spanked. They didn't. They played really well. Simon says, I would love to see Lucy Bronze come home to play it right back for us. She's a Mackham. She's a Sunderland fan. Mind you, I'd still love to see Lucy Bronze in a black and white shirt. I think, but this is the thing. This is the dreams that I think a lot of people that follow the women's team now will have. You know, they'll look at everybody and say, you know, these are the players that we could attract if we were a WSL team, because, you know, the money's there.
A possibility. And that's what we know. That's what we are Newcastle fans. Like, we don't often get to taste the glory. It's hope that we're addicted to. We love the camaraderie.
Part of being a Newcastle fan. Yeah, exactly.
We love the camaraderie. We love the kinship that we have. You know, we love that there's hope that we can get somewhere and achieve something in this bigger part of the dream and project. So to be able to think, my goodness, if we get to that level, these are the types of class of player that we're going to be able to attract. This is really exciting. We've got a way to go, but we are not a million miles away. We are not.
I've been corrected, actually. Dave says Lucy Bronze is a Toon fan. So there you go. I thought she was Sunderland, but...
I need to go down the rabbit hole of research here, because I think she's a Sunderland fan.
Yeah, I'm pretty convinced she's a Sunderland fan.
Otherwise, I'm buying a poster and putting it on my ceiling.
Our family's Sunderland. She's, you know, there was a thing on. Was it last year when they were doing during the I think it was it the Euro? Maybe it's not the Euros, but something else or the World Cup, and they did a little bit on Lucy Bronze, and I'm sure they went to interview her mother in Sunderland, and Tom Lynch says she's from Alnwick. So listen, hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. What was that?
What?
I'm sure I heard just a.
There's actually no dogs in it. It's my mum's birthday, so happy birthday, Mum.
Yes, happy birthday, Mrs.
She's
Bradley.
She's pug sitting. So
right. Well, there you go.
There's no snarling in here. Maybe it's one of your what they call a grumble. Do you know a group of pugs is called a grumble? A grumble,
dear me. Naughty little shits is more the point. Well, interesting. There's some interesting things coming in about Georgia Stanway as well. Apparently, she's a Newcastle fan, according to Wikipedia.
Behave.
Well, she would be a good signing.
No, I don't believe it.
We're making Sam start to believe in all these big players now. Chipper says Steph Houghton is retiring. Now, there is a player that I would try and talk out of retiring for a season.
Yes.
Give her 1 year to come to Newcastle in the Championship and help us get promoted. I think that would be a wonderful signing. Can you imagine? Class. You know, no disrespect to any player, but Steph Houghton alongside Potts is just going to be incredible.
Yeah, and you know what? It's that level of experience as well. You know, we don't need to be looking at, like, we've got a relatively decent age profile in the team already. So the physicality, the athleticism, that's all there, and we can see it. They can run for a good 90 minutes. That's fine. But for me, I think if we could get some more experience, especially going into a promoted league, I think that would be amazing. So yes, I love that idea. Someone get Amanda on the blower. Let's get that done.
Kath says there's no Sunderland fans in the Tough family. I worked with Granny Gloria, so there you go. Kath says she was born in Alnwick, lived for a time on Holy Island, and not a Mackham. So there you go. We have been put right officially by Kath. Chipper says Stanway is a Newcastle fan as she loves Alan Shearer. I know Stanway is at Bayern Munich. You know, that would be impossible to get her out of there to come and play in the Championship.
That's a bit of a stretch.
But, hey, why not dream? It's what Newcastle United fans have well, it's what we're born to do, right? We are born, whether it be the men's or the women's team, it doesn't matter. We are born to believe. But listen.
Nice.
It's whatever happens this summer, it's going to be very interesting to see who they can bring in, who they could maybe tempt out of the WSL, down to the Championship just for. I mean, Steph Houghton, I mean, I know she's definitely a Mackham, there's no doubt about that, but you never know. You never know. But listen, some of the wages that the top players will be on will be probably out of Newcastle's reach in the Championship, let's be honest. But hey, there's nothing wrong with believing. Now, just to wrap up the show, a bit of tremendous news, as Sam touched on earlier on. The development team winning the league, the reserve Northern Division champions for this season, and an incredible season that the development team have had as well, Sam. Just going in the right direction. And it's fantastic now that we've actually got a development team to try and bring these players through to the first team.
Right. And these are going to be lasses that we can actually start to call upon, to ask questions from, to actually get them to a level where they're thinking, hey, that could be me. Look at how well they're doing now. And they're, the first team are paving the way for it. And to think how well these are doing, it's just tremendous. And these are the types of sort of glory moments that type of work really deserves. So credit to them, amazing effort, and it's only great for us in the future because these are the doors that we're going to be coming knocking on to say, hey, you're getting called to the senior team, let's go.
Now, one player I'd like to shout out from the development team is Georgia Spraggan, because she's obviously been involved with the women's team for a while, and that decision for her not to become into the pro with the rest of them would have been hard on her. Would have been really hard on her. But now she's now in the development team, still scoring goals, still enjoying life, and she's just proves what a brilliant mature head she's got on her shoulders, took the disappointment and then went to the development side and is again proving what a good player she is.
I think the proof's always in the pudding, isn't it? How well do you take a failure? I think we're going to see the same thing this weekend, and I think that's a personal attribute to how well she's taken hers. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a knock on the door to say, do you know what, credit to you, you've done a good job. Let's give it another go, or come into training. Get her into some senior level training, see how they fare.
Indeed. Let's just get a few comments before we finish. A few people asking if Alicia Lehman could come to Newcastle. I wonder why. You disgraceful people. Listen,
I wouldn't mind if she came to Newcastle.
Yeah, exactly. But look, let's be honest. She's a decent player as well. I mean, she's in and out of the Villa side quite a lot, but she's one of those. I think she's a flair player, really. Kath says, what about Beth Mead? She's fairly local and just back from her ACL.
Yeah.
Wow, I mean, some of the players that have mentioned here.
I know, we are shooting for the moon here. I love
the moon. I mean, we're going past the moon and beyond. I don't know where the hell we're going with these. It's incredible. I beg your pardon? They don't want to go there. Trust me, Sam. They do not want to go there. You walked right into that one. Sarah Barber says, are you both on Instagram to follow? Yes, we are. I have. Sam, would you like to shout out your Instagram handle?
Yes, Sam_Bradley 2.0.
What happened to 1.0? Where did that Sam Bradley go?
She was already too evolved for that.
Oh, okay. I'm on the Toon Review is definitely on there. That's an account I run, and I'm also my personal one is Ditchburn Paul 76, something like that. You'll find me, but definitely the Toon Review's on there, Sarah. And I hope you've got yourself subscribed tonight, Sarah. It'll be great to have you on board.
Absolutely.
Because we want more and more people to take part in the women's shows as well.
Paul,
you don't have to put your hand up like a school kid, you know.
I know, but you know what? Sometimes I do cut over you. I'm very mindful of it. I want to try and be as polite as possible. I get too excited, Paul.
That's why you've been brought on. You know, just
right.
Keep everybody in check. Go on. Right.
Keep your mouth shut then. Let us chat. So
Jesus Christ.
I did put my hand up.
Wow, you're talking about shooting for my anus, and now you're telling me to shut up. Brutal. Go on.
Right, okay. Anyway, obviously we know that for the first time ever, history is being made at St. James's. The Lionesses, England ladies, are going to be playing at St. James's 31st of May. Tickets did go on sale today if you are a My England member. If you weren't already a My England member before midnight last night, you won't be eligible to get tickets that are in the draw today. So just be mindful of that. But if you are already a member, get signed up. I think it's going to be fantastic to be able to see us sell out St. James's. It's going to be great for football tourism, right, Paul? Like the economy, it's going to be fantastic to have St. James's on a world stage, and for the Lionesses as well. So get yourself down.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said. I Like Coffee says, I would love Ella Toon and Chloe Kelly at Newcastle. Chloe Kelly's brilliant. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's so many good players. Just think, Sam, 2 years' time. I mean, even in a year's time, we could be sitting here with Newcastle on the brink of WSL football. I mean, look, I'm not going to put too much pressure on them. I think if they want to have a season of building, that's fine, and mid-table, and then go for it the season after. But look, why can't we just go for the stars? We will do on this show.
Let us dream.
Hell yes. Chloe Kelly, Ella Toon, Georgia Stanway. Hell, bring them all in. Bring them.
Come on down.
Absolutely. You know, all of you, just come to Newcastle.
Just together as a team.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. That is it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on the Howay The Lasses show. As I said, this is now a regular thing, 7 o'clock on a Wednesday night with me and Lady Sam, of course. So please just keep your notifications on. We are every Wednesday covering the Lasses game. I'm definitely going to go on Sunday. Really looking forward to it. And hopefully we'll get we'll get a good vlog going there and see how we do. Hopefully we'll absolutely thrash them and get the confidence. Not that I think the confidence will have totally dropped anyway, but get that morale back up after the disappointment of the cup final. But hopefully there'll be so much more to come in the future for these Lasses because they damn well deserve it. Foxy says, I remember you had Freya Bales on the show last season. How's she doing? Did she stay in the game? I don't know if she's still or where she went. I still follow her on Instagram and she pops up every now and again. I was really surprised to let Freya Bales go, but at the same time, I've heard that she wanted to go and further her education. So I don't know what the situation was with Freya. However, you know, of course, we wish Freya very, very well, and she did come on the show. It was great to have her on. But bigger and better things for everybody, I think. But thank you very much for watching. You've been absolute stars as usual in the chat. Thank you to Sam. Thank you to the mods. And we'll be back tomorrow night, of course. The nitty-gritty of West Ham United, we're doing the preview. So me, Sam, Alex, and Billy will be back for that one, going through potential lineups, formations, tactics, and, of course, the all-important score predictions for that. But let's get a score prediction for Sunday for the Lasses, Sam. What are you going for?
Do you know what? Let's do it. I'm going 5-0. Stuff them.
Same as Sarah, yeah? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, funny enough, I'm going 5-0 as well. I think I'm just hoping to tonk them. Katie Barker with a couple. I think Paige Bailey-Gill will get one. I think Potty will score from around 35 yards. And who else? Georgia Gibson with a banging header on the 6-yard line from a corner. There you go. If that comes off, I think the betting for that is around 3 million to 1. Don't go and bet responsibly, please. But don't take anything as is gospel for that. Jesus. No, absolutely not. But thank you very much for watching, guys. We'll see you back tomorrow night. And, of course, we'll be back next week at 7 p.m. next Wednesday with Howay The Lasses again. But in the meantime, have a great evening, folks. But for me and Sam, it's good night.
Come back and check out some green.